If you really like having your ego stroked by your followers at work, having a hyper competitive, bullying, backstabbing environment might actually be reducing that for you. It took me a while to answer this comment because it was actually really hard for me to find research on schmoozing. I am not a schmooze master. I'm far too direct. I've learned a lot of the unwritten rules as I've researched them, but I would not say I'm a schmooze master. What I could find was that in relationships between leaders and their followers, when they perceived they had a good leader-member exchange, so a positive relationship between them, that that both the leader and the follower perceived any flattery as coming from a genuine, authentic place. Now, when they didn't have a good relationship, not a good leader-member exchange, the leader interpreted their flattery as inauthentic. The catch 22 is even if the leader and the follower had a good relationship and they perceived it as well and genuine, the other people, the peers of the follower, perceived it as brown nosing and not authentic. And I found similar in another study that I found on flattery, where people perceived flattery only as genuine when it didn't also look like the person was getting something out of it. And your peers often think you're getting something out of it. And let's be real, the reason a lot of people do it is to get something out of it. So it would seem from this research that the best thing to do is to be authentic. But we also know, because of the unwritten rules, that that's not necessarily the case. Organizations don't tend to reward people who are very authentic. There are some that do, but we don't think of them as the general corporate culture. And so this puts people in a catch 22 of if you have a really good relationship with your leader and it seems really genuine, then your coworkers might hate you. But if you don't have a good relationship with your leader and you're trying to make it better, then it could still be perceived as inauthentic and anything that you do to try to help that. And so many of the unwritten rules for my research are about these types of dynamics. Like the number one, the shift to independent values. There's a lot of individualism over collaboration. Number three is on be aware of your workplace relationships. Some people are friends, some people are foes. I forget which number it is, but the one on hierarchy, being aware of when should you withhold information to help you move up and when should you not, and who's higher than you and who's your peer and who's really looking out to get you. So if you have an environment that already has those unwritten rules, then this is already set up to where your best performers or the people you have a good connection with may not be liked by their peers. And people who may be wanting to do really well, you may already be biased against them. And in that case, I think the best thing you can do is to not reward people backstabbing each other and reward healthy competition, but also reward teams and not just individuals. And when are we going to stop pretending that flattery at work isn't to get something? Like, that's the part that I always struggle with.